Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Chinese New Year's. So basically what the Chinese New Year's is it's a celebration in China where everybody takes off work, they all spend time. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know that I know what the fuck it is. I really don't. I don't care. All I know is that with dropshipping, it does affect you and your relationship with your supplier during Chinese New Year's. Okay, so some people in China will take a month off from work, which means if your supplier takes a month off from work, you're going to go a month without being able to place orders, which this scares a lot of people, and they don't really know how to deal with it, obviously, because if you were running a legitimate company, you could just tell people, like, because of the holidays, our products are not getting shipped out until this date and this date, right? But most of you are trying to hide the fact that you're shipping from China. And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but what I do want to make clear is that it is not a big a deal as people make it out to be. The worst thing that happens is you go a month without placing orders, you have a little bit of customer service mishap, like people talking, and if people really get horribly pissed off about it, you know, going a month or two without their item, just refund them. So it's like, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, not everybody's gonna make a huge deal out of it. I mean, some people will, but here's the way that I'm gonna deal with it. Here's the way that I dealt with it during the beginning of 2018. I actually had a lot of stores pushing, you know, over 100 orders a day. So a month without placing orders was kind of a big deal for us. So we had to figure something out really quickly. And here's exactly what we did. We reached out to our main supplier, the supplier of our winning product. If you have multiple winning products, then just reach out to all your suppliers and just be really respectful. You know, this is a culture that they have, so don't be pushy, don't try to change their beliefs, none of that stuff, but basically just reach out to them and say, hey, I know Chinese New Year's is coming up. Basically, I'm just reaching out to ask what's going to happen in terms of our relationship. Are you going to kind of put all the orders that I place on back order? Am I going to be able to place orders? How long of a break do you take? Like, what's the exact dates that you're going to be off of work? And most of them, it's a week, 2 weeks. I very rarely saw anybody who took a month off. But you got to think of it like this as well, as these people are entrepreneurs. You know, they go out there, they create an AliExpress account. If you're drop shipping from, you know, Amazon, whatever you're doing, they're other entrepreneurs, and they understand that there's competition. And while everybody else is out celebrating, there's going to be people who are hustling and still getting it in, because they're going to be the ones getting all the business during this time. So, like, I would recommend, if they say that they're going to take 2 weeks off and they're just going to hustle their ass off on the third week, catching up with all the orders, and you're very clear about it with your supplier, and, you know, you trust them enough, I say just hold your orders for 2 weeks. You know, obviously you can place them and stuff, just understand that they won't get delivered, and communicate with your VAs or your customer service that, you know, orders are going to take an extra 2 weeks to get in, so prepare for some messages asking where your orders are, stuff like that in the future, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And that's really the way that I would deal with it. So you reach out to the supplier, you know, how long of a break are you going to be taking, essentially, and they say a week, 2 weeks, you know, what are the exact dates so that you can be prepared for this. But if they say a month is a really long time to not be placing orders. So here's one more thing that I would recommend doing. I would recommend going through AliExpress and actually messaging a bunch of suppliers who have your product. Now, we all know that the supplier that you're working with them for a reason, most of you. You know, whether they respond quickly, they have good shipping times and shipping costs, their product is cheaper, you're saving money by going with them. Like, whatever the reason is, just kick all that out the window, because basically waiting an extra month on top of the month that it takes to ship to your customers is going to cost you a lot of money in terms of refunds and chargebacks and, you know, bad comments on your post, like all the negative stuff that could come out of that. So the best thing that you can do is try to reach out to a bunch of suppliers that supply your product and see how much time they take off. And there are suppliers in China that do not take any time off at all. So you might be able to find one for your product that doesn't take any time off, and you don't even have to worry about it. It might be an extra $5, it might be an extra $3, $10, whatever it is. Even then, if you tell them like, hey, I'm getting 30 orders a day, I'm going to be doing business with you this month, this much during this time frame, can I have some sort of discount? And they'll give you one. You know, suppliers are very lenient with discounts as long as you're respectful about it. You know, it's a different culture over there. But basically, a lot of people make this big deal about Chinese New Year's, like, oh, your products are going to take an extra month to ship, and it's really not that big of a deal. I remember this year we did get a little bit of refunds just because people were waiting so long, but it really wasn't enough to like make a big stink about it. But yeah, I mean, just reach out to your suppliers. Keep good communication. Make sure that you know the exact dates that they're not going to be able to ship products, and if you absolutely have to, just go find another supplier for those date ranges. Pay a little bit of extra money. Wait an extra week for shipping time if they don't have the best shipping time options. But it's basically just about weighing your options. You know, like, is it worth sticking it out, or is it worth finding another supplier so that I don't have to stick it out? But this is kind of a quick video, but I know it's a subject that's running through a lot of people's minds. A lot of my students have been asking me, and I've just been telling them, I'll make a video on it, but yeah, I mean, it's only a 7-minute video, but that's it. I mean, this is Noah Brewer, and I'm out. Peace.